Okay, this is a movie I try to make everyone on the software so you can refer to it from time to time. I go through all the settings, make sure all the tabs are gone through and all the settings. So if you ever get lost or need to change it back or it gets changed for some reason, you can do it. So we click on the Canon CR2 software up here, the RICS software, which means Retina Image Control Software. RICS, Retina Image Control Software. The password here is Canon, C-A-N-O-N. We're going to click Settings. We're not going to log in. We're not actually going to take any images here. We're going to look at all the settings. This is the settings menu. As you can see, it has it divided up into 3 different sections: Modality, DICOM, and Other. We're going to go through each one of these and all the appropriate tabs. So we go System, and this never changes if you're using it as a storage facility for DICOM compatibility. You'll also have some other areas here that you can use, but this is the one that mostly gets used. Modality stays at XC. The title is Canon Non-Mid 2. You can put in a station name or location if you want. We put in our company name for institutional department, institutional name. You can put anything in there you want. Transfer archive. Transfer the studies automatically when the studies are finished, or you can do it manually. Most people will keep it on automatic. And you can archive the studies the same way, automatically or manually when you're done. Specific character set is always set to default, but you have other areas here too for different languages. And on other, this is a conversion rule. Always a space into a caret should always be the one that you use, unless otherwise told by someone in the DICOM family of servers. They might tell you to switch it, but generally not. So that takes care of the system menu. Again, System, Transfer Archive, Specific Character Set, and Other. Okay. Now on to device. It's always going to be retinal camera. It's always going to be EOS. It's always going to be EOS 60D. However, when they come out with newer cameras, you can put the different camera backs on here, and you can arrange it and put in the software for those. They will appear here, and you can change it. But no one ever does that. It's always going to be the one that comes with the camera. This is already 15 megapixels. It's plenty good enough. So that's what it always changes there. So under retinal camera, you have what COM port it's set at. It finds it all automatically. Use the focus indicator, which is what you're going to be doing. Initial position is always going to be there. When the study is completed, it goes back to that automatically. So you really won't change anything here. In non-med settings, you really won't change anything here. These are the defaults. Center it. Internal fixation lamp on study starts in the center. You can change it to macula if you want, or disc, but most everybody stays to center. Observation magnification is 1.3x, a little larger, so you can view it pretty nicely on the camera back screen. Enlarge view for focusing, yeah, when you're focusing in, you can do that. Change focus for anterior segment, yes. Yes for capture stereo view. Auto exposure, yes. For shoot and auto exposure, yes. For observation, that's all the defaults. That's where you always want to keep it. So this is pretty much all the defaults for most everybody's settings. Okay, so we'll cancel that and we'll close that. That was under device. Now under study management, this is where your study comes into being, where you want the images to go. Right now it goes into this folder for the database for the images to go. RICS Non-Mid 2 database images, that's the path that it goes to. You can change it anywhere you want. Display warning when it gets down to 5 gigs. That'll never happen because it's a terabyte drive or a 750 gigabyte drive. You'll never run out of space years and years and years from now. And the storage period after transferring, you can change this. Right now it keeps it for 1 day, but you can certainly change it to anything that you want. You can keep it up to a full year if you want to keep them. Okay. We're going to change it right now for back to 1 because we're using this with our DVS software right now. But if you're using this on a DICOM, you may want to keep them for a while. Make sure that the DICOM facility gets the the data into the patient records, but that's basically what that's for. And archive, if you want to archive the images off onto an external hard drive, you can do that, and that's where you set this too, but that'll never happen because if you're going to go with DICOM study, they're automatically backed up anyway. So that's basically what that does under storage. Study management. So we have system, we have the transfer archive, we have the specific character set and other. Device, really never ever going to change any of this. Study management, you could change the path where you want the image stored. You can also change where you want to archive it if you're going to do that, but when you're doing DICOM, you don't really need to do that because it's all backed up automatically under their system. And storage period, how often you want to keep the storage for. It's many days after, and just for safety's sake, I'd make sure that the DICOM facility has it if you're using DICOM. If not, if you're using DVS, it doesn't matter. It stores it in our own database forever. But if you're using DICOM, how many days you want to keep it in case there's a problem. Now let's go under DICOM, study input. Only study manual input. Now if you're using different parts of different types of input, you can have a barcode input. You can have all these different communication inputs depending on your DICOM study that you're doing, but mostly everyone will do manual input. And then when you click manual input, you can put in what you would need to put in: patient ID, accession number, patient name, birth date, sex, ethnic group. You can fill in the separate boxes. You can also assign how big the patient ID number is, but this is mostly all done by your DICOM people. They'll set all this up for the input of it. So that's how that's all done. So we'll just cancel that one. Storage. If you want to edit storage, you can just show you here. When you create a storage, you can have your own names for storage. Once you put in your name, you have a way you can store it on a server. You can export it out to DICOM, which is what most people will do. And you can also export out to JPEG. I think you can actually do both too. There's a details button here to show you exactly what the study name is, what do you want to add to it. You can do all these different things with it. So that all depends on the DICOM. So they can set you all there. We are using DVS software, so we go to an import folder where we grab our images there and then take them out of there and bring them into our DVS data software. Again, you can do that. You can also export to DICOM, and you can go to a storage server. So all this will be set up by the IT person or the person that's doing your DICOM setup. Okay, so we're going to cancel that. We'll close that one. So that's basically all there is to storage. On the DICOM tag, not too much here. Create series for left and right eye, pretty much standard. If you're set a scheduling for performing physicians, you can name those names there for a schedule. That's all set up by the DICOM people. Windows center, window width, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what you do there. And retinal camera information, save image as image comments. So you can do that, and then you can go in and it has all this information on it, and you can tag all these different things if you want to put it on the DICOM picture inside the data facility of it. Image size, shutter speed, all that stuff on the technical data about the imaging if you really want to do that. And then study logs. These are all kinds of different study logs used for the different DICOM systems throughout the country. So let your DICOM people set up that. We do SOP instance. That's the most common, although study instances also I've seen that used. Cancel. And under user accounts, you can have different, we just do everything under Canon administrator. You can set the password. In this case, it is Canon. Screen. Thumbnail display, horizontal, which is what I like, so it's across the width of the top up here. Show confirmation message after the studies are finished to show you that the studies are being closed and they are being finished, so you can save the images. Main image info says all of that, right, left, the time, the patient ID. Thumbnail information gives you, you can add all this stuff to it. You can do study info. You can add and delete from there, from these lists. Again, this is all set up by the DICOM people. Thumbnail order, right, left. That's the most common, right, left. You can also have it left, right. You can change how it's sorted too, but mostly that's the way that's done. Loop, that's for magnification, large, medium, and small, and that's all set up. Cup to disk ratio set for medium magnification. Stereo view for medium magnification. So we'll cancel all that. Show you that. And disease names, you can have all these different names for your diseases. You add them in as you go. There's nothing been added into this one, so you can do that. You have to click it in here, name it, then add it in. This is a new system, so we won't do that. Study logs list. Study the logs for how many days, how long to keep them for. Search conditions, study logs for how many days. So you can enter up to 999. We used it in DVS, so it doesn't matter. That's why we have it set for 1. Print. You can print with all these different settings. Nobody prints anymore. DICOM, nobody prints anymore. If you are going to print from the DICOM, you print from the DICOM software, not from this. So you can not going to really print from the RICS software. And then magnetic barcode, which no one uses, but if you want to set it up for a magnetic barcode system, you can do that. And I'm not even going to go over it because it's not worth it because nobody does it anyway. But there's different readers. You slide the barcode in and it saves the images to the reader. Okay, so that's basically everything in the software that you need to know. Again, the modality and DICOM are the most important. So that's basically all there is to the settings menu. We're going to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and show you if we type in Canon here and we hit log in, this will bring up the RICS software. And this is where we start the study right here with this green icon. You'll click here, it'll bring up a study. And it'll also bring up for you information when it's set up with the DICOM software. We're not using that right now. We're using our own software. Patient name, ID, birth date will all come in as a screen for you to enter it in. But we're not set up that way, so I can't show you that right now until we get it set up for DICOM. We're going to study to cancel this. It's going to ask you, are you sure this study, all the images will be captured? We're going to click OK. And it's going to save the images if there were any images there and take you right back to the main screen. And that's basically it. That covers everything for the system. Thanks for listening. Hope I didn't bore you too much.